the most powerful way to overcome fear and anxiety. The magic of habituation. So, how does this strategy work? It's the magic of what's called habituation. Let's say you get a new smartphone. The first day is exciting. The second day not so much. And a few weeks later, you're not really excited by it at all. This is due to habituation. You've got used to it. Your nervous system arousal decreases with time. In other words, you get bored with things that are familiar. This is of genetic advantage. The less energy you use on the familiar, the more energy you have for the unfamiliar. Habituation has evolved as a way of conserving energy. Psychologists take advantage of this habituation by, for example, encouraging couples to try something new. This novel experience arouses their nervous system, moving them from boredom to excitement, with all the positive experiences that go with excitement amongst couples. However, the most powerful way of making use of habituation is to overcome fear and anxiety. Anxiety and avoidance is a state of arousal for your nervous system. Let's say you're scared of traveling underground. By avoiding the underground, you're not allowing your nervous system to get used to traveling underground. By avoiding the experience, you never habituate. Your nervous system stays aroused in connection with underground travel. This avoidance has a tendency to spread. So then you avoid taking lifts underground and going into tunnels and so on. You keep your nervous system aroused due to your avoidance. The anxiety unfortunately grows. Additionally, by avoiding something that scares you, you add to your sense of failure. Each time you avoid the action, your anxiety strengthens whilst your confidence decreases. You have a feeling of a lack of mastery. You add another piece of evidence that you can't go underground or face spiders, for example. So avoiding fear both maintains and increases it. Intuitively we as human beings avoid fear because we think that will mean we will experience less fear. But in fact, avoiding fear leads to greater fear and lower confidence. The solution: exposure. The solution: make use of the power of habituation. When you expose yourself to whatever you fear, with time and through habituation, your anxiety lessens. In other words, you face your fears till they naturally reduce. Of all techniques in psychology, exposure therapy is the most effective of them all, especially when it comes to overcoming anxiety. There's two reasons why people don't like the idea of exposure to their fear to overcome it. It's counterintuitive, but lots of things in life are counterintuitive. For example, planes which are hundreds of tons of metal, can fly in the air. It's scary because you feel your fear will grow bigger and bigger. This is due to a lack of understanding of habituation. In reality, the feeling of fear doesn't escalate. The feeling subsides over time. That's just how your nervous system works. So by far the best way to overcome your fear of anything is to do it. If you're scared of public speaking, you'll need to speak publicly. If you're scared being on trains, you'll need to sit on a train. You need to feel the fear and do it anyway. The good news is, you don't need to dive in the deep end. You can start slowly and gradually, and build it up from there, as described earlier. The power of taking action. The power of exposure and habituation works on other levels too, not just plain calming your nervous system. Psychological: every time you face your fear, you're better able to cope. You think, I can do it. I can overcome my challenges. Your confidence grows. Behavioral: you developed skills to be able to overcome your fears. You have a greater sense of mastery over your fears. Emotional: at the core of most if not all anxiety is a fear of fear itself. By exposing yourself to the feeling of fear, you habituate to it. Most people know public speaking, flights, spiders or lifts are not dangerous. But they fear the feelings of fear. By exposing themselves to the feeling, they are better able to learn how the feelings arise and subside within themselves. The feeling of fear always goes down with time. That's just how your nervous system works. I say take a nice approach, go slow, take your time and treat yourself as you would a good friend. This approach will make the whole process more enjoyable and also less difficult. Imagine if fears have continued to grow despite your efforts, you will be in trouble. Fortunately, the opposite is the truth. If you just split your fear into small steps and start taking action, It is almost guaranteed that your fear will fade due to the magic of exposure and coexistence. The most stable way to overcome your fears and thus enjoy a more confident, fulfilling and joyful life